Hi guys, it's Cindy and I'm back with another episode of the Know Your Worth show. April is Autism Awareness Month, so in honor of that, I'll be highlighting the everyday life of people impacted by autism. Hey Siri, what's autism?
Autism is also called autism spectrum disorder, a serious developmental disorder that impairs the ability to communicate and interact. Autism spectrum disorder impacts the nervous system.
Hi everyone, it's Cindy here and I have my special guest Whitney with me. Hi Whitney, thank you for joining the Know Your Worth show.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure having you today. Now, in honor of Autism Awareness, I am going to be speaking to you about autism. So what does autism mean to you?
Autism means that you have a disability and you have trouble communicating with others.
Okay. And at what age did you find out that you were autistic?
I was only 2 years old when I found out that I was autistic.
Okay. And who shared that with you? How did you understand that you had autism?
My mother, she shared it with me by telling me that it's okay, it's just a spectrum disorder, and it's gonna be all right.
Very true, it is gonna be alright. You've been doing so good so far. How old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
22, awesome. And have you ever been in a relationship before?
No, I never had.
No? Do you want to be in a relationship in the near future?
Yes.
Great. And do you want to have children in the future?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you'd be a great mom. So Whitney, what are some of the things that you have trouble doing, that you recognize that you are some challenges for you?
Sometimes I remember back then I had trouble doing math, and math was one of the biggest challenges for me.
Okay. And how did you cope with your stress? Like, how did you get better with math?
I talked to my teachers about it, and my teachers and my paras, they helped me to do better and better with math.
Okay. So when you're stressed...
And to practice.
Great. So when you're stressed and when you have anxiety, what are some of the things that you do to handle your stress?
I sometimes stay calm, take deep breaths in and out. I talk to my mom about it, and I sometimes speak to my therapist about it, which I speak to her every Thursdays, and then every month I speak to my doctor.
Oh, great, thank you. And what are some of the advice that your therapist gives you when you speak to her?
She says to stay calm, always stay confident, believe in myself, and don't let anyone take that away from me.
Very good. I agree. I mean, these are some of the things that I tell myself to keep pushing forward. So I think your therapist is right. Well, thank you so much, Whitney, for your time.
You're welcome.
If you had anything to tell other people living with autism or other people that don't know what autism is, what would you tell them?
I would just say, just keep being yourself and always stay confident in yourself.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I think you're doing great. I think you are a beautiful young lady and you're thriving and doing very well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Chrissy Mason. I'm a family support specialist. I love cleaning, makeup, and most importantly, skincare. I am the parent of 2 amazing children who are on the autism spectrum, Phoenix, who is 17, and Trinity, who is 15. What is autism? Autism is a developmental disorder that affects social interaction, speech. The individuals on the spectrum also display repetitive behaviors, and the severity of the diagnosis is different and it varies from person to person. When did I notice something different in my children? I noticed something different. I noticed something had changed. Something wasn't right, I guess you would say, after they received their 18-month shots. I noticed that their language, the little bit of language they had already acquired in the 18 months of their lives, was no longer there. And it was more difficult for us to understand them, asking what their needs. They had words, they would say this, they would say that. And then after they had their 18-month shots, that was when we noticed there was something different going on with our children. How old were my children when they were diagnosed? They were diagnosed at different times, obviously, because they're different ages. But we received an official diagnosis for our son at the age of 7. And we received an official diagnosis for our daughter at the age of 10. The reason why we received a later diagnosis for her was because she was first diagnosed with ADHD, which turned out to be that wasn't her challenge. Her challenge was that she was on the spectrum and that she also had sensory processing. So it made it a little bit more difficult for the teachers in the school to approach her. So autism is just such a different variations. People can have different severities of it. I've, being in the education field, I've been the parent, the teacher, the director, the behavior specialist. So I kind of see it from all perspectives. And there's no two people are the same when they are on the spectrum. Will they have similar behaviors? Yes. But when it comes to the way they process things and how they do their everyday life things, it varies by person. Our son is more of a visual learner, so we have to have visual schedules up for him. Our daughter is more of a kinesthetic learner. She listens and absorbs it, picks it up really quickly. Whereas with him, he needs a little bit more time. It needs to be a little bit broken down. It needs to be repeated, more than twice, simply because he processes things a lot more differently than our daughter does. How can families find resources today on how to help their children on the autism spectrum? Well, the first thing that I would say is if you notice something, immediately let your pediatrician know. If the pediatrician has more concerns or is not able to identify or see the concerns that you're having, you can request a referral for them to be evaluated by another professional. There are also other resources through the school system, depending on where your child goes. Your child is in a pre-K program or something like that. The resources are available through your school, through your teacher, your children's teachers. Just because your child is not in elementary school, in a public school, and they go to a childcare center or a learning center, it does not mean that the individuals working with your children are not their teachers. So all individuals are considered teachers when it comes to the aspect of education, because early education is really important. So if your child's teacher shares that they have some concerns about their behavior or transitioning, or they have difficulty speaking or socializing with other students, do not, I don't want to say do not, because everybody's different. I can only speak for myself. I will say that I was in denial with our son at the very beginning. But the older he got and the more he moved on into the school year, I noticed that he did need help. But back in 2003, we didn't have the resources available that we have now. which is why I'm so passionate about the work that I do, because I just want to be able to help families find the supports and resources they need for their children. And if they have a concern about their child being on the spectrum, I know exactly where to guide them. There are numerous resources here in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, and that's where I would refer them to. Some of the resources, you have Autism Speaks, Autism Society, then there are a number of other places. But again, you always want to start with your pediatrician. Can I describe what a Friday is like for me? A Friday in our home is pretty much like our family. That's when we start out our family nights. We start them out Friday evening. Once work and school is over with and everybody is showered and relaxed, we'll have dinner, which is typically pizza. So we have pizza nights on Fridays, and we just watch something on TV. Right now, our go-to family watch show is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And we watch that on a weekly basis. When it comes out, we don't wait for the next day to watch the episode because that's what we truly enjoy. What is it like being a mom of 2 children who are on the spectrum, working a full-time job, aspiring influencer, a husband, and 2 dogs? I want to say I'm always busy. There's always something going on. There's never a dull moment here in our home. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I will admit that sometimes I can get overwhelmed, but thankfully I have the support of my husband, who's always there to step in when I just can't seem to keep it calm. Because let's face it, I'm human, just like any other parent is. So it's pretty fun. I love my children. I love my husband, our dogs. I swear that we have the dogs with the exact same personalities of our children because, oh my Lanta. We have Buster, who is our son's dog. He's chill, quiet, laid back. He is a chocolate lab mix, and he'll bark at whatever he can see or hear outside, acting like he's gonna do something, and he's really not. He's just a big baby, 80-pound baby that swears he weighs 8 pounds and can sit on your lap. Then we have Spirit, our little Chihuahua, miniature pincher mix. And when I tell you that dog has energy, she is always alive and ready to party, ready to roll, ready to play. Granted, she's still a puppy, so I understand that that's part of her process. However, I feel like her and my daughter are kindred spirits. Our daughter, she likes to be in the midst of things. She likes to do things with people. She likes to be around. She likes to be out. She likes going for walks. She's very artistic. Our son is very artistic as well. But he's not much of wanting to be outside. If it for him, he would stay inside the house all day, laying in bed, doing nothing, eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and his specialty, as he calls it, avocado, tomato, and Colby Jack cheese sandwiches. Those are his favorite things. I just want to encourage mothers out there who have individuals on the spectrum. I know it can be hard and discouraging at times when you feel like you're not doing your best. I'm here to tell you that you are. I have had those moments in where I feel I'm not doing enough as a mom, but then a couple moments later, I'll have a conversation with either one of my children, and then they'll mention something that has been on my mind that I've been worrying about. And then it gives me that satisfaction, like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's stuck. Is it difficult having 2 children on the spectrum? It can be. Am I the best one at it? By no means. but I learn as I go. They are truly our teachers. We are trying to learn and adapt more to seeing things through their perspective, because that's the only way that I feel I can help them. And the same film goes for my husband. We always ask them, how do you feel? How is this making you feel? Give us your thoughts, your opinions. In IEP meetings, when they get to be of age to sit in them, if your child does get an IEP, I highly recommend you allowing them to sit in the meetings, because they can give their perspective of what works for them and what doesn't work for them in the classroom. Do not be afraid to get help for your children. There's nothing wrong with that. I understand that the label can come with a lot of stigmas and a lot of questions from not just family members, but strangers as well. But as you learn to approach and learn more about your child's diagnosis, then you will be able to answer all the questions that people are asking you, and you'll be able to teach others how to interact with your children. Whether your child is on the higher functioning side or on the lower functioning side, at the end of the day, they're still human. And you just have to approach them. Just learn how to approach them. Get them the services that they need. If they need speech, get them speech. OT, get them OT. Because those are the things that are going to help them grow up into the individuals you want them to be. And it will also help them be successful in their classroom and educational journey. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me and my experiences as an autism parent. And I typically do like the whole month of April every year, just trying to spread awareness. This year I decided to take a break. But last year we put together a video for the end of the month that I will include at the end of this one for you to watch. So I just want to say I do not own the rights to the music, so just wanted to put that out there in the universe. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank my cousin Cindy Martinez for allowing me to be a part of this amazing movement that she has started about knowing your worth, empowering women through podcasts over and through different topics. I would also like to thank my sister Andrea for giving me the questions and opportunity, as well as my cousin, to do this. So thank you again, and I hope you enjoy the video.